Welcome to you. My name's Dale and this is Dale's Addiction. Today's video is a very different one. Firstly, I'd like to thank Helena for sending me through this article from the Sydney Morning Herald. And I'm going to read parts of it to you and then just provide some commentary around my original thoughts. I think it'll be really interesting to hear from you your thoughts around this, and let's keep it strictly to luxury rather than talking about the conflict that is occurring, because I'm not really sure how YouTube is treating material on that subject, and so therefore all I can say is let's keep it to the luxury discussion rather than any discussions on politics and conflict in general. Forget your bunker. Luxury could be your way out of a war zone. Before we start, I am not making light of the current world situation. I am not going to comment on the conflict because my commentary would be limited at best. I am not close enough to it. I don't know enough about it. I don't feel like I add any value to that conversation, and I don't want to disrespect anybody by any naive comments that I might make. You know, we're always having this debate in the luxury community about, is luxury an investment? Are luxury goods investments? Well, it seems that in times of extraordinary hardship and trauma, luxury actually can be a good investment. I'm going to read the article in parts and then I'm going to comment on each of those parts. The headline of the article on the Sydney Morning Herald website is "Rich Russians Splash Out on Luxury to Stop Savings Melting Away." With sanctions on Russia sending the ruble plunging and keeping stock markets shuttered, the country's wealthy are turning to luxury jewellery and watches in a bid to preserve the value of their savings. Sales in Bulgari's Russian stores have risen in the last few days, the Italian jeweller's chief executive officer said after the international response to its invasion of Ukraine severely restricted the movement of cash. In the short term, it has probably boosted the business, Jean-Christophe Babin said in an interview with Bloomberg, describing Bulgari's jewellery as a safe investment. Even as consumer brands from Apple to Nike and energy giants BP, Shell and ExxonMobil pull out of Russia, Europe's biggest luxury brands are so far trying to continue operating in the country. Bulgari-owned LVMH is far from alone. Richemont's Cartier is still selling jewellery and watches. Swatch Group's Omega timepieces are still available, as are Rolex's. All are continuing to make sales and trying to strike an apolitical stance. "We are there for the Russian people and not for the political world," Babin said. "We operate in many different countries that have periods of uncertainty and tensions. Much like gold, which can serve as a store of value and a hedge against inflation, luxury watches and jewellery can hold or even increase in price amid economic turmoil caused by war and conflict. Popular watches can change hands on the secondary market for 3 or 4 times their retail price. Yet the impact of the invasion on the value of luxury items is creating a potential public relations issue. Sales in Russia and to Russians abroad account for less than 2% of overall revenue at LVMH and Swatch Group and less than 3% at Richemont, a relatively immaterial level, according to a report this week by Edward Orbin and fellow analysts at Morgan Stanley. That's due in part to Russian income and wealth disparities, with a small number of billionaire oligarchs living way beyond the means of ordinary people. The average monthly wage in Moscow is about 113,000 rubles, which is 1,850 at pre-invasion exchange rates and much lower in rural areas. And I'm assuming this is in Australian dollars as it's an Australian newspaper. Spokespeople for Richemont, Rolex, Hermes, LVMH and Kering declined to comment. Reaction has been minimal so far. Balenciaga, a Kering brand whose creative director is Georgian, scrapped all fashion content from its Instagram page days before its autumn-winter show in Paris. In its place is the Ukrainian flag and a call to donate to the World Food Programme. What I want to talk about in relation to this article is the fact that there's a very strong argument being raised and put into practice today saying that luxury is a good investment in certain situations. And I think that that's really interesting. Now, people aren't going out and buying handbags, right? They're buying fine jewellery, high jewellery, where there are rare stones and high amounts of gold, something that retains its value over time. This is what the pirates were doing back in the day, and the Egyptians and royal families and dignitaries in the past. So, you know, it's no surprise that there is still value to be found in high jewellery and watches and timepieces, especially because the pre-loved market offers a way to move those goods on at the same or perhaps even an inflated price because of how difficult those goods are to come by in the first place. Isn't that interesting? Is luxury a good way to protect your money in a war or conflict situation? Now, there have long been reports of luxury being used as a way to launder money, people coming across extraordinarily large sums of cash. And I have seen myself, people pay for luxury goods in cash here in Brisbane and thought, okay, that's different. There have been significant shifts in the cryptocurrency markets over the past few weeks, and now there are articles again online around the investing in luxury yachts and assets where they can sell them off later and they'll be worth more than what their currency is. Now, it's interesting, this disparity between the really wealthy and the people who aren't wealthy enough to go and put all of their money into luxury goods. The fact that Bulgari are saying, well, business is good and we are going to be there for the Russian people. Because from their view, they're not supporting the perpetrators of war. They're supporting people who want to secure their money and their livelihood. But it does make you think, doesn't it? What if your money was at risk? What would you do? Would you invest in crypto, or would you buy a really hard to find Rolex? I think I just wanted to make this a quick video. I wanted to pass on my love, best wishes and thoughts to all of the people who are being affected against their own will by this conflict. I can't imagine how terrifying it would be. I think the world's in a pretty crazy place at the moment, and it would be remiss of me and all of us here not to focus on that. But I do think there's a really interesting argument around the social responsibility of luxury suppliers here, but also, you know, the security of the value of $1 in high jewelry or timepieces. I think that's a really interesting way of highlighting what luxury goods stand for, and also what their potential is to retain value or even gain value over time.